What is up? What's poppin', everybody? We're coming back with some shoulders and arms. Now, I say shoulders and arms. I really only did like 2 shoulder movements, but for my routine, I pretty much like contact a lot of my front delts and do some stability work on my chest days, and I hit a lot of my rear delts on my back days, and I kind of pick up pieces in between here and there. Might do a couple different movements on those days, but I pair them together. I feel like it's a super solid pairing. So here we're just doing some dumbbell presses over the head, right? We're doing it on the little seated chair there. They're really great to do over the head too when you're building stability, core strength, and breathing technique. But yep, so basically the way this day was aligned was it was a shoulder and bicep movement, then it was a tricep and shoulder movement, then it was a bicep and tricep movement, and then there was the cables at the end. I think that was it. There might be another tricep shoulder or something like that, but there was this day, as you can see, you'll see as an example, nutrition plays such a big key in like your vascularity, the way you look, how full your muscles are, this, that, and the other thing. And if you want to use it as an example, you can go back to my older arm video and then watch this one, because this one I actually ended up doing fasted. I rarely do that. I have to eat a lot to put weight on. I have a pretty high metabolism, but every now and then I'll fast in the mornings just to slow myself back down. And so I ended up doing this arm day fasted, kind of close to maybe like walkish. And so you can see I am not feeling full, not that veined out, opposed to the first video where, you know, veins are popping, like arms are looking good, all that kind of thing. So just in case you don't realize what nutrition actually does to your body on a day-to-day basis, you can clearly see that. But yeah, man. So now we moved on to the tricep shoulder movement, and we ended up doing single arm overhead tricep extensions and then just the lateral dumbbell flies. I like to pair things together most of the time that kind of work against each other or aren't always supporting. Sometimes you'll see, if you're trying to gain some stability, you'll have heavy movement and then you'll work in volume these stability muscles alongside it. But in this case, it was opposite. This movement right here is you'll see it, you'll probably see it on my page and on the intro, but super good isolation, like curl, leaving your chest up against it and just hanging your arms down and pulling with strictly your biceps. It's a pretty difficult movement, and you feel an amazing contraction in your biceps, like one that you don't feel with any kind of other normal curl. So strongly recommended. And this ended up moving on to our 2-way tricep extension. This is kind of like a little double movement that I created a little while ago that's benefited me greatly in getting that outer head of my tricep exposed, and also creating mobility in my elbows. I used to have kind of stiffer elbows, and it's definitely helped a lot in loosening up and building that outer head, which is kind of difficult for a lot of people. Genetically, for me, it's not there, so that's something to just keep in mind. But yep, so you start going across your body, and you don't go entirely flat. You mostly try to go act like you're stabbing through your shoulder or your collarbone. I know that's kind of fucking crude, but that's the way it is, kind of stabbing through your collarbone. And then the next one, you're just going straight back as if you're doing a skull crusher, but move your arm back, set it with using your lats to pull, and then boom, you're just kind of hitting the tricep extension. So super cool. I hate doing arms. I said that in the first video, but this was a pretty solid arm day because it felt difficult because it was fasted. I don't know what kind of weird kind of freak I am for that, but whatever, man. But yep, so now we moved on to some heavier skull crushers, and this is honestly, skull crushers on an incline bench are probably my favorite tricep movement. I feel the most stretch all the way from tip to tail of my triceps, and then I quite frankly, like, I like the way it looks. But outside of the pure contraction and stretch that you get from it, like, it's definitely just one of those alpha like power movements that you just like, when you can put some weight on it, you feel good about it. So we all need that. We're not ego lifters here, but we all need that shit. This was the Arnold press. I posted this on my Instagram, and like, this is one of my favorite movements of all time because I'm just incorporating multiple pieces in it, and it gets you breathing, man. It's a solid movement. So you come up, squeeze, and then you go over your head. And now what that's gonna do for you structurally is it's more of like on a neurological basis of the repetition of training your body to move like that. So when people talk about functional training, most of the time it's like TRX or stability or this, that, or the other thing. This can be a functional movement solely because it's not a natural motion for your body, and so you're kind of creating that neural pathway. And it's once I started doing them, I started seeing benefits in other things as well. So these are the I don't really know if you call them like cable fly curls, something like that, but anyways, so basically you just set the cables up. You want them a little bit higher than you, specifically so that tension stays on your bicep at all times, and you kind of have to mess with the angle a little bit. I like to not be all the way sideways and kind of be facing forward and pulling to the side. What it allows you to do is get a squeeze right in between that separation in your bicep, and you feel that kind of ball up along, as well as the peakiness on the outside. So man, I was not looking full at all today. I know that sounds kind of egotistical of me to say, but shoot, that's what the food will do to you, man. So anyways, and then we finished, so these two cable movements are what we finished with, basically the bicep one and then this tricep one. There was 3 sets of both. We didn't finish with a drop set or anything like that today. It was more of like a heavier volume day, so we did like more sets and just went a little bit heavier. It's just an overhead, the rope tricep extension. You got to include ropes into every single arm day and any other day, as a matter of fact, because not ropes, cables, just because they pull tension on the muscle at all times. But cool, man. Thanks everybody for checking out my shit. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'm working on something super cool for everybody, so hopefully once we get that on, you guys can all share for me and whatnot. But if you'd like more content, check out my